Guys, hey, real quick, and I'm not going to ramble, but I just wanted to go through my war defense teams and why I chose it the way I chose it this go round, and why I'm using my offense teams on offense this go round. Hydra Red Skull, pretty simple. Black Bolt's the obvious counter, and a lot of people are using him on defense with Coulson and Kestrel. So if nobody's got him out there to attack, this could get me a cheap defend or two. The Merc team, I'm completely experimenting with right now, and I threw Moon Knight and Night Nurse in there because Riot Guard will throw Deflect on Moon Knight on every enemy turn, and every time Deflect gets done on Moon Knight, he gets offense up and speed bar, and so I'm just expecting him to just constantly be taking turns and hopefully causing havoc and being hard to kill, especially with Night Nurse in the fold there, as well as Merc Lieutenant. Obviously, I'd like to build him up some more. He's on my priority list with a bunch of other things, but I think this could really be trouble. But I could be totally wrong, and people could blow it away. Who knows? Skilletary team. I took Punisher off and added Killmonger just because I made the change to the mercenary team, and Killmonger's a little bit better than Punisher, in my opinion, unless you have high red stars on Punisher, which I don't. Next up is the Coulson Avengers. I'm constantly playing with this team and doing other things. Sometimes it gets a cheap defend, and sometimes it doesn't. It's not a bad team at all, but there are several counters for it out there. This team is not a cookie cutter team, and that's why I kind of like it. People have to think about it a little bit, and maybe they use a team that they don't necessarily need to use on it, or maybe I can get a couple of cheap defends. But my Yellow Jacket is 7 red stars, and he packs quite a bit of a punch, and along with Captain Marvel, Ghost, and then you've got Shuri and Minerva there for sustainability. So hopefully they can get more than one defend. And I would imagine people's first target would be Minerva. So while they're targeting Minerva, Yellow Jacket and Captain Marvel and Ghost can just go to town. It's not unbeatable. I don't have a single team on my defense that's unbeatable. Asgardians, everybody knows about Asgardians. Hoping, and I usually don't even run them anymore. I usually run Thor with the Avengers team, but I thought let's throw them on here. I'm seeing them a lot now with the alliances we're facing, and at 653 with all the bonuses, they're beefy. My Thor's tier 15, so his passive packs quite a bit of a punch, so I'm hoping to get a cheap defend or two out of that. She-4 is a great defensive team, especially if you have a big She-Hulk, and I've got a pretty good size She-Hulk, so this takes a pretty good team to beat, and they can get a couple defends. I usually always get at least one defend. If nobody else gets a defend from my team, I usually get one from She-4. They're pretty consistent with at least getting one defend. And then I finished up with Heroes for Hire, and I'm just hoping that at 621 that it causes havoc. Some of y'all might have seen my defenses previously and saw Ox 6 and Marauders on there, and I switched them to offense, and I'll show you why. For one, nobody's attacking me, so it seems like a lot of firepower on the bench that never gets used, and I'm guessing those last two alliances we faced sucked, but even when we get into some better ones, just for the simple fact that my TCP is like 14.5 million, I'm guessing a lot of people might not even go after me, and so it just seems like a lot of firepower sitting on the bench. And I'm gonna go over here so Commander don't yell at me for doing something here. But I threw Silver Surfer on this team, and this team right here, Even without Silver Surfer, if you threw Ultimus or Hela or Doc Ock on here, they could beat any Black Order that I come across. And with Silver Surfer, they can pretty much beat any team I come across, with the exception, I don't know what they'll do with a Heroes for Hire, or how high up a Heroes for Hire they can defeat. But this team is badass, especially when you know how to use them. And yes, they're a good defense team, but they're a pretty badass offense team too. It's just because of the war defense buffs you get with Emma and some others, you automatically assume that they're war defense only, but no, they're badass to use on offense too. Symbiotes, pretty much everybody uses symbiotes on offense. Mine's not too bad. I got, when I finished DD3 the first time, I think I had 300 gold credits, and I invested into 3 of the symbiotes, because that was when symbiotes, were all the rage. And so that's why I've got high red stars on just about all my symbiotes. But they do pretty good, obviously. Ox 6 is a tremendously good team on offense or defense. I like them on offense. And I've got a 7 red star Mysterio and a 7 red star Electro, and they're pretty awesome. Mysterio's special on War is amazing. He throws ability block as well as blind, which is tremendous against some of these big teams. And then Ock, and this is a great team. If you haven't ever used them for offense, you should try it, because they're pretty awesome. I'm not really scared to put them up against anybody. They'll punch across on Black Order. I'm not sure how much higher they would punch up on Black Order, but. And then my Black Order, it's not the biggest in the business, but it gets the job done. I like Black Order a lot more on offense than I do defense, just because they counter just about everything except Heroes for Hire. This is a team that I'm constantly working and fiddling with and playing with, and Quake is basically on there just because of the synergy she has with Shield and Yo-Yo. And Black Bolt, because she's an Inhuman and Shield. She's not the greatest toon in the world, but there's a lot of synergy there, and mine's 6 red stars and 110 collection power. I'm interested. Oh man, what happened? Oh, I'm actually interested to see what all I can do with this team. Not real comfortable with who I can put it up against, honestly, but Kestrel is awesome. Black Bolt's awesome, so it's all good. Brotherhood is, they're still amazing on war offense. I threw my Sabretooth in there just because, he's maxed out 157k by himself. A lot of people would have Pyro there, and I completely understand that, but my Pyro is like 68k, and my Sabretooth is 158k, so yeah, it's easy math. Astonishing X-Men, they're great on offense or defense. I put them on both when I'm playing around, but they're quite exceptional. I put Zemo with my X-Factor team, and they can pretty easily take out an Marauder team. I'm still trying to get comfortable with using them in other situations, because they don't counter everybody. Sometimes they get their asses whipped. Power Armor team has fallen off quite a bit. I do like them with Ultimus better than with anybody else, including Ultron. They used to be a great counter to Ox 6, but what's happened is everybody's taking Doc Ock to Dark Dimension 4, so he's, everybody's got these 150, 170k Dr. Octopuses, and the rest of the team isn't nowhere near that, so the team's off balance, and it kind of throws all this off. So I'm having some trouble with that matchup here lately, but I still got them on war offense just because I think they're better on offense than they are defense. X-Force, I always wanted to work on them and make them badass, 600, 700k, and just never got around to it. Something else always was coming up. And now they're starting to fall off a little bit, but they still are great on war offense and counter a lot of teams. This is a team where they've fallen off quite a bit, but I definitely do not like them on defense, especially now that Kestrel's around, because she completely nullifies Phoenix. And I actually like putting Kestrel on this team with Phoenix, because when Phoenix dies, she applies defense down to everybody when Dark Phoenix spawns, and boom, that just helps Kestrel. So this is a team I'm constantly playing with, but with Ultron, they do pretty good. No, nothing like they used to. I did get Moondragon today, so this will change, but I haven't even started working on Moondragon yet. But this is the team of the future. Throw out Drax and put in Moon Knight, and then eventually down the road, add Warlock. Yeah. So this team is amazing. Gamora is a beast. She's just incredible. Wow. Supernatural has fallen off, and they continuously are letting me down. But I think the way I've got it set up right now, I think they're actually like my 13th team, which nobody needs as of yet. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So if I do a full 12 attacks, here's my roster. And so I can't take out 12 badass teams, but I can take out a few badass teams and keep us rocking and rolling. I only am recording this just to show y'all. I'm not bragging at all. Y'all can ask me some questions about it. You can tell me I'm fucking nuts for leaving Marauders off of defense. I'm just curious what y'all thinking, or what y'all running, or if y'all were curious at all as to what I was running. I figured I'd show. So there it is. Thanks, guys.